TikTok says secret evidence is bullshit, and if you're gonna move forward with the TikTok ban, you need to justify in federal court and to the American people why their constitutional rights are being trampled. That's basically what TikTok just said in a brand new filing posted today in the Washington, D.C. Federal Appeals Court. This 51-page brief is a response to the looming TikTok ban and the U.S. government's filing I told you all about in this video last week. You remember, that massive document was supposed to explain why Congress passed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act that forces ByteDance to sell the U.S. TikTok or face a ban on January 19th. But instead of explaining why the TikTok ban is necessary, the Department of Justice's brief to the appeals court looks like this. About 20 pages of partially or fully redacted information. And in context, after reading the whole brief, it appears these redactions may possibly include some classified information. But here's the thing. According to this new TikTok filing today, we, the public, aren't the only ones in the dark about what was actually being filed and what was behind those redactions. TikTok, the petitioner in this case, says the official copy of the brief that they received also has redactions, so they can't figure out what they're defending against because they don't know what evidence the government is using to justify the ban. And the government says they want to keep filing more secret evidence. TikTok writes, the government has substantially complicated this case by choosing to hide large parts of its case from petitioners and the public. The court should not allow the government to impose irreparable harm to the First Amendment rights of petitioners and 170 million Americans while frustrating the court's ability to perform meaningful review of its unprecedented actions. Not only is keeping evidence secret from the other side problematic in court, TikTok argues that it's possible the stuff the U.S. government is redacting and wanting to file in secret is just plain wrong. Their brief says the government's extensive redactions are even more troubling given its recent decision to unredact a formally classified paragraph from its brief, which turns out to contain only quotes from the industry publication BuzzFeed and petitioners' own filings in this case. TikTok is now arguing the U.S. Appeals Court should simply rule the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act is unconstitutional on its face for several reasons laid out in their previous court filings, which I've reported on extensively here on my page. But TikTok says in this new brief, if the court chooses not to do that and instead agrees to entertain this redacted national security secret evidence that TikTok doesn't have access to, the court should appoint a special master, a third-party, unrelated federal judge, to go through this alleged classified evidence and rule on how it should be handled in this case. Now, that takes a lot of time. So TikTok is arguing to the court, if the judges decide to go the special master route, the court should also grant an injunction to pause the TikTok ban from taking effect while this case plays out. We'll hear more about this during oral arguments in September, and if you want to read this new filing from TikTok, I will email it out to you tonight in my Newsgirl News Roundup email, so make sure you sign yourself up.